we were talking about it when we were doing some of the, like as we were leading up to this. The You actually were Nuera. So Carl, you and I talked about this back in the first episode that we had you on about the, well, I called it bulletproof belting.
Yeah.
And so, can you tell me about that product and kind of what's happened here in Canada with that?
Yeah, sure. Actually, there's a lot of mining customer that's got problems under the crusher, right? Because it's the material is huge. It's falling from really high
Right.
and right into the belts, and they get issues with rip and tear of the belt, and sometimes the belts last a week to 6 months
That's
if we're
all.
lucky.
Oh,
And
wow.
they like to say that after 6 months, it looks like Frankenstein. It's full of clips in there. You could sell it to the metal people and make a lot of money.
Yeah,
out of it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, and they're always looking for a greater life expectancy because every time conveyor stops, they need to call in, and if they're like up north somewhere, like by the time people comes in, might take 2 days, and that's all production loss, and we're talking $1 million there most of the time. So that Kevlar belt actually, it's a yeah. Kevlar, it's like those, like what the policemen use, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the bullet is not gonna go through you, right? So we can easily imagine that it's gonna be pretty much the same with the rock
Right.
falling on the belt. So Fenner Dunlop came up with that. Do you want to talk about the Coreflex a
Yeah.
bit more?
Yeah. Well, Kevlar is a brand name from DuPont, but the belt we sell it's iron fiber. So the idea behind all this, and it's not a new concept. This belt was, has been developed by Fenner a while back, but it's not everybody who's gonna invest in this kind of equipment.
Right.
So you really need the right application and the customer who really have issues with their belt and they want to reduce their downtime. So we sell significant some of those belts in South America. South America, they have large copper mine, for example,
Yes.
with the lump size is big, like Julie said, high drop, and it just punctures the belt. So the idea behind all this is, if you don't puncture a belt, you're not going to rip it or tear it apart. We need to prevent the puncture. It's the puncture that will cause those rip and those tears.
Right.
So the aramid belt, the Cordflex, has a very, good resistance to impact and rip and tear because it's very difficult to puncture the belt. So the idea behind all this is not only to increase the life of the belt, but also to minimize or almost eliminate downtime between the belt change out.
They don't need to repair it anymore,
Yeah.
right? They might have to repair the cover once in a while or something, but at least like there's no rip.
Actually, when you say about the cover, so that could be replaced.
Not replaced, but could be repaired. Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
just to make sure we're all on the same, the rubber layer on top of the belt carcass.
Yes.
We call it the cover.
Yeah.
So this is just it's regular rubber, and the rubber is made depending on the application. Is it a cut and gouge application or abrasion? Depending on the material we carry. But the carcass, the rubber is only there to protect the carcass.
Right.
It's the sole function of it.
Your investment, right?
Yeah. So we need to put the best rubber possible when we have an aramid belt. But
Definitely.
That makes sense.
yeah.